Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever here. Sorry, I ran in a little bit late. Want to get this started at 8 o'clock. But, you guys know how the show is, man. We get it done when we can and get it up and running when we can. But I just wanted to make sure I sent out everything. Yep, I got it going on. So, I did send in, excuse me. I did send some invites out to the crew, see if they pop in. Again, I do these on Saturday mornings most of the time. I wanted to get it back to Friday. It's just been a little bit hard, especially after like yesterday. Dude, shout out to Unlimited Productions. He did a really good podcast yesterday, man. Go check it out. Um, and it was good that he did one, man, because I was stuck in traffic, so I got to listen to it while I was stuck in traffic. So when I got home, dude, I was just too tired to do a podcast, dude. And I had other stuff I had to do. Being in traffic for like over an hour wasn't in the cards yesterday. I don't know what be going on where I live, man, but it is crazy. But there is a couple stuff I wanted to talk about, man. It's been a crazy week for me, um, with all things considered. As you guys know what I do on this channel, man, it's been just a deluge of news, watching people's reactions, doing some research on some stuff. Sad to say, most of it's not gaming. Because on the Xbox side of things, man, and I mentioned this to Unlimited in this comment section yesterday, on the Xbox side, we good, dude. I mean, we're really good if you look at it, especially from a gaming perspective. If you're just a gamer, and this is the side that you need to be on right now. Well, you should have been on for the last 5, 6 years, if I'm being honest, man. But people are starting to wake up, man. Shout out to that dude, bruv, and his channel. Again, he's a PlayStation guy. Picked up an Xbox, started using Game Pass, and he saw the light. He realized, what we have over here. Unfortunately, we have Xbox guys that don't realize what we have on this side. And again, man, you don't have to be Xbox, PlayStation. If you're just a pure gamer, at the end of the day, that's why I like his videos, bro's videos. It's because he has his preferences, man. But at the end of the day, he's a gamer. That's why I've been kind of shifting my channel to a little bit, right? You guys know I talk about a lot of politics. I talk about a lot of pop culture stuff. That's the purpose of this channel. Um, you guys know how hardcore I went on the DEI stuff, which I still do. But again, things are changing, man, because people did put in that work. And so at the end of the day, man, remember, I tell you guys, man, gaming for me is a lifestyle, right? It used to be a hobby. Well, I don't know if it ever was a hobby, man. I just liked it when I was younger. And I'm talking back in the day when you used to drop a quarter in an arcade. And then when the console revolution came in and then the technology grew and then more people started gaming, man, it has its own culture. Gaming has its own culture. And for me, it's a lifestyle, right? So at the end of the day, dude, I have to enjoy it. Right? If I don't enjoy gaming, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are the same way. If I don't enjoy gaming, then why am I here? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, give commentary on it, talk about it like we're going to talk about it today. As you can see, stay in your lane. Um, because of all the stuff that's going on. And predominantly it'll be a gaming type of perspective thing, man. Because on the Xbox side, like I said, we're fine, dude. We're good. We're really good. We're beyond good, dude. We're great. You know, it's awesome over here, especially as a gamer. Right? You don't have to bleed green to enjoy the console. Right? I think you need to bleed green to get the proper perspective on what's going on in gaming. But if you just like to just come on, pop a game in, or if you just like to fire up your console and play a game, dude, this is where it's at, dude. This is the only company that's giving you every single thing that a gamer wants, man. Again, I say this all the time on the channel, dude. If I could go back in time and take all the stuff that we have here, that we have now, back then, dude, it would be because that back then. I mean, to me, people were more gamers back then, not like it is now, dude. Um, that's one of the kind of the sad things I talk about on the channel when it comes to gaming, right? It's so generalized now. But there's good and bad that comes with everything, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna go on some old man rant, man. But I do want to speak truth to power. And on this channel, dude, I'm kind of look. I try and keep it as 100 as possible. And again, I have my opinions. You guys don't have to agree with me when it comes to anything on the channel, not just gaming. But in the case of gaming, guys, I see a lot of people that like I might agree with on certain things, and that I would agree with maybe 99.9% of the time, man. But that's still that 1%, dude. I will give my opinion and talk about things more directly, you know. And and again, man, I sit here and tell you guys, look, life is about choices, right? If you like a particular console, that's fine with me. We're gonna talk a little bit about all the drama that's going on with PlayStation and Nintendo. Um, and again, man, I tell you guys on this channel, dude, I don't really care about Nintendo and PlayStation on that level, dude. If and that's why I titled it "Stay in Your Lane." If every um, gaming community, and I'm talking about the people who support specific brands, like myself. You guys know I'm a pro Xbox channel. So if you're pro PlayStation channel, you're pro Nintendo channel, Switch channel, or whatever you do, that's how you prefer your gaming, right? Because I'm just I don't really jive with the middle of the road type of people, man. And there's some great ones, like I just mentioned, bro. Right, he's having an experience right now, right, and sharing it. That's fine with me, right? But a lot of the people that middle of the road, dude, I don't. There's some guys I like that I used to watch, um, but I mean, they're gaming channels that to me is kind of like, dude, if you're not, there's the three gaming companies are so specific now in what they do. Yeah, there are a lot of similarities, but they have different approaches to where stuff's flowing in gaming. And if you're an Xbox person, you need to know that specifically because of all the three companies, dude. Xbox is that one company that's totally off on its own, doing its own thing. Just be honest with you, right? Hold on, guys. Let me something popped up. Let me. Yeah, you know me. Sorry, guys. I'm doing like two things at one time. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. This thing is not working. Uh, what's going on with this? Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, man, play what you want to play. But again, dude, for me personally, dude, it's just like if everybody would just stay in their own lane, I think gaming would be 100% better, right? Because there's always got to be people doing commentary. Most of it comes from the PlayStation side. We all know this, man. If you can't accept that, wrong podcast for you. Right? Most horrible, like I say all the time on my channel, the most horrible fan base, definitely the PlayStation, the ponies. I'm talking about the ponies, the hardcore PlayStation brand guys who don't buy their games but talk a lot of trash, right? And then feel the need to commentate on everybody else's stuff that they're doing. Like I know some of you guys thought like because of my commentary on Nintendo and the Switch showcase, I watched it. And look, dude, it's not. I'm gonna get one, dude. But I know my daughter definitely gonna get one. That's why we watched it together. It was actually pretty cool. I thought it was a great show, as far as presentation, um, content that they showed. I can't speak on that directly, guys, because I don't own a Switch, man. I'm looking at it from the perspective of my daughter. Hey, brother, you there?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother? Hey,
How are
sorry.
you? How are you?
Just keep. I've been keeping up with tariffs. That's the same.
You mean the tariffs that haven't come into play, but everybody's blaming it on tariffs anyway?
Oh my gosh, it's funny, isn't it? It's hilarious, dude.
Dude, this is how you know that people not only they don't pay attention, they have no clue.
Uh, uh,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
dude. I like watch that, and I was watching one person rant about it. Right, this is gaming too, by the way. He was ranting about it's like the tariffs haven't even taken place. Like he didn't. He thought it was already, and it already. I guess
The
it was scheduled for
tariffs,
Saturday.
the tariffs have all been propositions for him to make negotiations. It's called the squeeze play.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
these people are like, oh my God, the tariffs killed everything. Oh my Jesus. I'm like, yo, the tariffs didn't even come into play. How they like you guys clearly have no clue what y'all talking about. This is how you know. This is how you know.
Ebot, are you there? Hello.
It's just it's
Okay.
just let's blame everything on Trump. It's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Well, that's why I like it, man, because I think it's funny, right?
Oh my God, the
Yeah,
exposure is exposing it so funny. It's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. People are acting like gas prices didn't go up. Like every food price had not gone up in the last 4 years. Everything that we were getting didn't go up in price. That's the whole reason why people are pissed off. Shit went up. Everything is fucking ridiculous. And they're like, oh, no, it's Trump's fault. I'm like, my man's been in the fucking office for like 3 months and it's his fault. It makes no sense.
You know what's funny to me when I listen to people, right? It's like he's been in for 3 months and he's doing too much, and then this happens, and then they're like, oh, now he's not doing enough. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh
So
my
I'm like,
God.
but
It,
at the end of the day, dude, look, I looked at that and I saw people commenting on that, and I felt bad for them, right, in a way because I understand
hey.
that they don't keep up with politics like
Oh
me
no,
and
they
you do,
don't.
right?
They don't. They don't. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so get their commentary, right? I'm like, bro, man, I felt bad for them because it's pretty big channels, right? And I'm not bad for them I just was like listening to them, and I'm like, oh, bro, you know what? It's not even, and nobody calls them out. That's what I mean. It's like if you're a
Oh, wait a
gaming
second.
channel, then it's probably be a good idea to stick to gaming. That's why I try and put myself out there that I'm politically charged. I've been like this way my whole life, dude. But just when I started this stuff, it was just to focus on pop culture. But because politics and pop culture kind of cross the streams, right? I mean, it is what it is. And so that's
Yes.
why
Yeah.
I kind of changed on my channel. But I listen to these guys as a bro. They haven't even taken effect, you know.
No, they
And
haven't.
the bigger thing for me is just like, dude, we know me and you, man. We old school Sega man can talk on this, dude. I'm pretty sure E-Rock can talk about this as well. Dude, we know Japan, right? You know what I'm saying? And so it wouldn't
These
be
people out here
us
in the
outside.
defense of Japan, like Japan.
Mm. Oh, good. Can Hiba? Ah, man. Hey, bro, you're breaking up. Are you
I'm
there?
here.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to turn on. I think the Wi-Fi is on at the same time as my LTE. Give me a
Yeah.
second.
Okay, because you're coming in and out and breaking up.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it's acting foofy. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Um, but look, dude, just to let you guys know, dude, Japan will never let an opportunity go to waste, right? They could very well, and might not have nothing to do with the tariffs, but it don't matter, dude. They want money, like other businesses, dude. I'm not just picking on Japan, but that's how Japan is, dude. You know, that's why the joke, and the longest time, Hebot's been talking about this for a long time. I knew this for a long time, right? Is that the Nintendo prices never go down, guys.
No. They because they really swear by their own arrogance that their stuff is on like the best, like the creme de la creme, like it's that is not unvalued. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, and then we need to get into that and unpack that because that's something that their fans drive as well, right? And this is like, look, dude, this is like chickens coming home to roost, man. A lot of you dudes have been talking trash for years about Xbox. Welfare, we
Right.
have welfare pass, right? The most horrible system. Nobody wants our games. We have no games that nobody wants. Right? All of this stuff, man. And I find it funny because
How
now,
can you label something the welfare pass, right?
oh yeah,
If
yeah.
all it has is AAA games coming in all the time. It was before smaller games. Now it's triple A's, double A's, single A, indies. It's everything. So how
Well,
can you call it?
the thing that got me about Game Pass from the jump was the two things that they had. Well, a couple things that they had, right? So they had the content, right? They had the variety, and they had a lot of games, right? So when every time people, even when the Game Pass launched, dude, and they were trying to attack it, dude, if you were in Game Pass and you're just a gamer, or you just like playing games, dude, you already knew that that wasn't true, right? And that was years ago. Fast forward to now, right? All of these guys, dude, we're gonna call them out on this show, right? Because for the longest time they've been talking about how hopeless gaming is on Xbox, dude, and now it blew up in their face. All of this stuff just blew up in their face. Because again, the problem, like I said in the commentary, dude, is a lot of the times these guys they keep their trap shut, keep their mouth shut, and focus on their own consoles. If you're not an Xbox person, or if you're not a Nintendo person, or if you're not a PlayStation person, for the most part, right? It's hard with the PlayStation guys because they're always like, we have people coming into our comment section, right? We have people coming into our spaces, right? So we have to deal with these guys, right? But if you just focus on your stuff, dude, you won't have any of these problems, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's and undominant. It's just it's comical because dude, the fact that they're calling it the welfare pass, for example, right? And then at that very same token, the game they're calling the welfare pass, but these guys are up and ready to pay for the Forza Horizon 5. That's a 5 or 4 year old game at a full price, but yet they're calling it the welfare pass. When we had that game 4 years ago, we didn't pay anything because we had it on Game Pass, obviously, right? So how can you call something a welfare pass that you're paying for on another console full price, even though it's a 4-year-old or 5-year-old game? You get what I'm trying to say? Hello?
Oh, sorry, dude. I was talking, but I forgot I muted myself. I have those parrots, dude. They're flying around. It's
No,
really
don't worry.
no, no, 100%, man. I agree with you, right? And look, dude. I'll be honest with you, but
Mm.
it doesn't bother me, right? Because you know why? Unless my daughter wants the console or the system or wants a game, which is normally Pokemon, right? I don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't go in that lane with Nintendo. And for the most part, man, I don't really have problems with Nintendo guys because they don't really come on our side, right? Normally, the Nintendo guys I deal with or that get out of line is like a PlayStation dude who has a Switch. You know what I'm saying? Or like a PlayStation
Mhm.
dude that has a PC, but they PlayStation first and foremost, right? For the most part, to me, Nintendo reminds me a lot of Disney, if I'm being honest with their fan base.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, their fan base is not like mostly gamers, right? Their
Mhm.
fan base
Mhm.
are people that grew up on their product, like how people have fond
Yeah,
memories of.
yeah, like people buy a fucking iPhone today. They just bought a Nintendo
Yeah,
because it was the hot thing back then. Oh, I play Nintendo, so they think because they play Nintendo that they're gamers in the traditional sense, right? Yeah,
right.
you're a gamer.
Oh, Hibat. Hello. Hey guys, Hibat's having a little problem with his internet, or it could be me too. Um,
Can you hear me? You can hear me when I say or no?
but when Hibat gets, oh, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You know what, bro? I think well, I couldn't hear you, but I think we have a delay as well. That's fine. Go
20
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah,
minutes.
go ahead. If
No,
if, if,
I'm
if you,
saying that you're talking about the guys that grew up, and call themselves gamers because when they were younger, their parents bought them a Nintendo, right?
right,
And because they had a Nintendo, they played it and they're like, yeah, we're gamers. So we used to have played Super Mario Brothers. So they're gamers, but not in the traditional sense of a gamer. Like they played video games, so that made them gamers. Yeah, but they're not gamers that actually did it because they loved the hobby, knew the culture, played in the arcades. That's all they did was breathe, eat, and sweat, and and smell gaming the way that we did.
yeah,
We embraced the hobby, right? We played every game on every console. We tried it out at least. We traded and borrowed with our friends. We played in the arcades. It was the old social aspect of gaming in the arcades, right before online.
okay. Um, yeah, Hibat, you dropped again. All
They
right.
didn't
Well,
do
okay, okay.
they didn't do those type of things. They didn't do those type of things, right? They didn't do those type of things the way that we did. They just did it in the sense of where if they went out one Saturday afternoon and their parents went to the mall. Oh, let me go into the arcade while they're in the mall. But they didn't go there every day religiously, locally in an arcade. You know what I'm trying to say? Those are the type of people you're trying to say that are trying to call themselves gamers that do shit now on their channel and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
So I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you're saying. And yeah, unlimited. I see the comment. You're 100% right, saying the PlayStation side is more of a uh, cult. What is it? Trana fan base.
Oh, they're
They
more of a cult than a fan base.
and cult than a fan base.
Yeah,
They're pretty silent for their company to be charging $100 again for The Last of Us. Shit, fucking J Dub. He was in the fucking goddamn Mooch's podcast. Somebody had clipped it yesterday. I think it was saying, "Oh, this is not for y'all. This is for those who want to buy it again to have the whole thing together." As a complete package with the steelbook. I was like, regardless of what, they're just trying to make money, reselling you the same game because that's the only alternative they have that and way that they can make extra money to do things and to keep on making other stuff because
yeah.
they're hurting.
They don't have COD anymore, right?
Yeah,
And we
financially
go
they're
back
not.
and revisit that whole debacle for Sony,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're hurting. They don't have that extra money anymore the way they used to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because you guys
They
don't buy
barely,
games. You guys don't buy games.
and then the games that they should be like, how are you gonna? be okay with buying the same game again just because it comes with a steel book, for Christ's sakes, right? When you could be buying something new, like something like, let's say, South of Midnight, even though it's on another console, but it's new, right?
You know what? I wouldn't even have a
Remember,
problem with them doing that. I wouldn't have a problem with
you
they doing that
remember the thing?
if they just kept their mouth shut.
Right,
Right?
right, 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 right.
I wouldn't even care that they buy like $100 still. Look, dude, man, it's your money, it's your time. You made the choice to be on that console. That's fine. But
Yeah,
don't be
or at least
over
keep it
there
real, or
talking
at
to
least
me
keep it.
about like South of Midnight, talking to me about Avowed, right? Because there's Avowed. Look, I'm playing it a second time through. 8 out of 10 still stands. Right, playing it a lot better because I'm used to the mechanics more. I know where stuff is. I know what's going
Now
on.
you're familiar. Now you're familiar with the game, right? Of
Right,
course.
and I'm amazed that I'm actually playing it a second time. Right, if I'm being honest with you, like there's other RPGs that I've played that are better than Avowed. Right,
Okay.
does that make Avowed like a terrible game? No. And then I also respect a lot of the stuff that's going on, the direction that Microsoft is going. They're letting these people be creative because unless you let people be creative, guys, you're never gonna get anything new, and you're never gonna have any more new experiences. That's something that I'm trying to teach my kid right now. It's just like, look, you have to go out and expand yourself a little bit, or you're never gonna have these experiences, and then you won't be able to, if you're a creative, express that experiences in your own creations, right? That's why I do like I haven't played South of Midnight, dude. That's the game that I've been waiting for. Of all the games coming out, that's my game I was looking forward to. But the reason I haven't been playing is because I've been watching my daughter play, it, right? Because she's a huge fan of We Happy Few and the company that made it. So I've been trying to experience it through her eyes,
Yeah.
which is pretty
And
cool, right?
and South of Midnight is fucking awesome. The game is
Yeah,
it's a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
yeah.
Right.
But I was
But
saying
what's
to
that?
Unlimited, brother. I was saying to Unlimited. I think that game is Phil's definitely going to put that game on PlayStation.
I hope not.
I
I,
think he
def-
will.
I definitely hope not. He shouldn't because it's a gem and it's a new IP.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
should,
he shouldn't. Like Phil shouldn't be doing a lot of stuff.
you know what I
Like
mean?
some
It's
of
a
the stuff
stand.
that yeah.
It's a,
But
it's
but
a
but
hit.
I'm just saying, just from the little I've watched of it, on my daughter playing what she's played, dude, you can tell it's all built in. It's just like the same feeling like with the like how they talked about Hi-Fi Rush, whatever. But what's that other game we had, dude? Sunset Overdrive, right? It has that feel to it.
Yeah, but he never puts Sunset Overdrive because he knows that is hurt because that hurts Sony in the sense that Insomniac created the game, but they have the publishing rights. But
Yeah.
since Spider-Man, they keep on,
Hello, Hiba. Hello. Okay. Oh, hey, what's up, Unlimited? What's up, brother?
once
Sorry, I'm falling
that
behind on the
shit off,
comments.
well, it
Yeah.
keeps dimming and going into that thing. I need to take that shit off the phone because it keeps on cutting me off every time, huh?
Yeah, you're
Where it goes into that stupid thing where it gives me that screen. You know what I'm talking about? You got to unlock it. I got to take that fucking shit off. It's pissing me off right now. Like, it makes me mad. Take this shit off.
Don't worry, man. This is the wrecking crew, dude. This is you guys' moment to shine. So, um, if it
But,
happens, bro, just pop back. If you have to, just pop back in and come and then pop back in. Yeah, I'm not venturing on other stuff, dude. I'm paying attention. This time. Sometimes that's why Unlimited then was clowning me, man. Was I'd be like, oh man, yeah, he's like picking up groceries, and he's like dropping off his kids. So no worries, man. No worries. If you have to drop, drop. Yeah, hey, Unlimited, man. I think Hebot's working on his connection, but
Yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
dude, good podcast yesterday, dude. I was in my car. I was like, I can't
Mhm.
believe the traffic, and then I saw your thing. I was like, oh man, you had a podcast today. What? That's like 3 in a row or something. So I clicked
Not
on it
two,
for like an
two
hour.
this week. Yeah, I'm not going to be here too long.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I
Yeah,
know.
because I pretty much got my thoughts out yesterday.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it was a
With
good podcast.
everything. Yeah, yeah. I had to do a little shit talk. I had to do a little smack talk.
Yeah, bro, take that victory lap. These people are clowns. They deserve it.
Yeah, yeah,
Xbox
yeah. I had
gonna
fun.
be. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I had fun. I had fun. Because I don't usually go to their level like that. I try to keep things, try to keep things gaming, less of the fanboyish stuff. But yesterday,
Yeah.
when I saw that, I couldn't help myself, man. I couldn't. It was too hilarious to me, because I've been trying to tell them, PlayStation guys, this is not your fight. This is not your fight at all
Hello?
because y'all. Hey, what's up, Kebop?
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, yeah. We good. We
Yeah, we
good.
could hear you.
You
Go
can
ahead.
hear me or no?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We could hear you.
And
Go ahead, unlimited.
oh, good, good, good.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I've been trying to tell him, look, that's not your fight, PlayStation fans, because not even all generation, but for years. But I've just used all generation the last 5 years or so. Y'all been justifying every nonsense Sony does, so don't don't join us in the battle of yo Nintendo. Your raising prices is worrying to us because because my point y'all know I never once mentioned the tariffs or nothing. My point was always, look, if we let Nintendo be Nintendo, well, Take Two and Rockstar going to be Rockstar, and
Absolutely.
welcome to $100
Absolutely.
GTA 5. We see what Sony's
Absolutely.
doing. We see what Sony's doing right now with The Last of Us. That was the angle that I came from in this. Right. With that,
Absolutely.
all that's going to happen is going to set a worrying trend. Prices are going to go up, and unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of cases, when prices go up, they rarely go back down. You know what I'm
But the
saying?
biggest, limited, the biggest shock value, right?
I'll be
Hmm.
right back, guys.
You
For the
see, you
lack of
see,
better,
go pick up your kids, man.
for
Yeah,
the lack of a better, for the lack of a better, for the lack of a better term, right? The shock value with Nintendo, right? The real shock value is me, you, and everybody with a fucking brain cell knows that Mario Kart World, no matter how innovative it may be, how many new features they may have added, it ain't cost them no 100 million, 300 million, or $400 million to make.
Right.
That game maybe at the highest value probably cost them $50 million to make. Maybe at the highest value, right? Because it's not even using new tech. We know this. They're still using older technology. That's
Hmm.
that's being customized to make it look like it's newer technology, right? It's like you see how people are running with this bullshit. Oh, it's more powerful than Series S.
Yeah, no, it's not.
When you see clear as day that when you look at the games themselves as a whole, right? Like the world when you're playing,
Hmm.
the games are much more detailed, much more better lighting, much more better colors, right? And vegetation and all that stuff at a higher frame rate with higher resolutions, right? But what they did is they put this DSLL or DLSS NVIDIA custom chip that does DLSS.
Hmm.
What they're doing with the games is they're touching up the character models to make them look cleaner, right? Because it's like a form of making it look higher resolution, or so that details can stand out more. And so some of the character models look better or cleaner or more detailed because they're higher resolution, or look like they're on a higher resolution on the character models. But then if you look at the depth of field and at the background, it's all blurred out or it's all muddy. See what I'm saying? And then when you go into the actual game itself and you're playing the game, you can tell for sure when you see Hogwarts Legacy to here. When you see Hogwarts Legacy, when you see Split Fiction, right? You can clear as hell and clear as day see that when you're playing in the actual world, that shit is really low res and it's not as detailed the way that it is with the Series S version of the game. You see what I'm trying to say?
Right.
But then they're like, oh no, no. It looks better. It has better detail. It's more powerful. I'm like, bro, it is not powerful. The Series S is basically a Series X, just less memory, right?
Hmm.
And that's it. It has less memory and less teraflops. That's it. It's still the same architecture through and through. That's why I'm able to play games like Flight Simulator. You can't tell me that you can play Flight Simulator on a fucking Nintendo Switch. It ain't gonna be able to run that game. You look at the fucking graphics of Cyberpunk, they're comparing it to PS4 and PS5, and you can see that the shit look muddy, jaggy, and very blurred out. It's like really low res and really low texture. Running at 30 frames, even though it's low textures and low res. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So
and
you,
Nintendo fans were impressed. I was like, oh my goodness.
oh yeah. The hypocrisy of the Nintendo fans is just like the hypocrisy of
Wait,
PlayStation fans.
was that
That
really
right now,
was that really Nintendo fans, or was
Yeah,
it like
no, no,
some
no.
people I see?
oh
Look.
yeah,
I don't.
Nintendo fans, like
Yeah,
actual
I have
Nintendo
to.
fans. Oh God,
Yeah,
look
Sega
how amazing
Forever.
Cyberpunk looks. They're like that, like literally talking like
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay, okay.
amazing how Cyberpunk looks on the Switch too. And I'm like,
Look,
wait a second. So you motherfuckers didn't want to play Cyberpunk on an Xbox or a PlayStation because y'all could only play on Nintendo Switch, but yet you were praised but when all along you really wanted to play games like Cyberpunk, and now when it's on the Switch and it's way less compelling, right? It's a dumbed down version of the game. Now it's amazing because it's on the Switch, and you're telling me that's not a corporate way of mentality that they have, or a cult, like they're not a cult mentality as far as a fan base.
yeah,
That's
he
cult
bought.
mentality at the highest form.
He bought. How long have I said that there's no way
Yeah,
possible Nintendo fans are happy just playing Mario? They want these
right.
multi-plat.
Yeah.
They
You did
want
say
they
this.
want Yeah, they want games like Split Fiction, Cyberpunk, Banishers, Ghost of
Mhm.
New Eden. They want all that stuff. It's just that it wasn't able to run on the Switch One,
Right,
and so they
right.
sat there and had to just keep eating up Mario and Pokemon and all that shit. But I'm
Hmm.
like, nah, you guys clearly want the want all these games at skipping.
The other
And now
stuff.
that those games are finally
It's
hitting,
all bullshit.
yeah, now that they
It's
finally
all
hit
shit.
and they run like the Xbox One version of the game, but at slightly higher resolution. Now all of a
Yeah,
sudden they love it. It's the
yeah,
two
yeah,
things that I saw was that and the whole I don't like the price increase, but I'm gonna buy it anyway.
Okay, okay. So let me
yeah,
ask you this
yeah.
then. Let me ask you this question real quick.
Hmm.
Because when I was looking at I watched the showcase with my daughter, right? So my daughter to me is like a perfect example, right, of what most Nintendo people that use Nintendo, right? She plays it for
Yeah.
specific games, right? She'll
Hmm.
watch the showcase. She
Hmm.
thought it was pretty good, but the only thing she's interested in, and the thing she talked the most about, was Pokemon, right? And then
Right, right.
and they didn't even really do Pokemon. We actually watched the other Pokemon that was like 20 minutes long or whatever.
Hmm.
So I look at that as more of like the Nintendo consumer, right? So when I look at it at that way, like to me, it didn't bother me as I thought I didn't like the overplaying of it, like you guys are saying. Like there's people like, oh my gosh, this is so great and stuff like that. When this game, we've had this for a long time on more powerful consoles, right? But I'm talking about like the same way. I'll use this unlimited. I'll throw this at you. The same way you can't talk to a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm a Marvel fan, and I have a hard time talking to these dudes, right? Because they only see within the in the they have that tunnel vision, right? When it comes to
Yeah.
when it comes, and I'm
Everything's perfect. It's just praise it, praise it, praise it. It's the same
well,
way
and
that you see all these fucking.
it's not just the praising, dude. It's like if you watch Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, I would think that you have some grasp of what movies are, not just
Right.
cinematic, just Marvel movies, but like if I went to you, I was like, hey man, you ever watched Ten Commandments with Cecil B. DeMille's
Hmm.
magnum opus and stuff like, and you try to have a conversation
Yeah,
with them, they would know.
yeah, yeah,
That's I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
like so like even in gaming, right? So like for me, when I see the Nintendo fans, like that's how it is. Like I won't like it's not my like if I'm never gonna talk to a Nintendo fan about a game like a Grand Theft Auto or something like Cyberpunk, like you guys mentioned. I'm not talking about it like a real Nintendo fan because they tend to be like in their own world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The ones I
That's,
talk
Well,
that's it.
to are the ones who purport to be a Nintendo fan that does a video reaction and stuff like that, but you know they're a pony,
yeah.
right? Or you know that they
It's like a cult
I
mentality.
Yeah, but and then so my experience is a bit different, right? I've seen. I went ahead and just just peep game at what like legit Nintendo fans are saying, and a lot of them is just like I don't like the price increase, but I'm gonna buy it anyway,
But I'm gonna buy
yeah,
it anyway.
or they're happy that stuff like Elden Ring is finally hitting the Switch and all that
yeah,
stuff for
yeah, yeah.
Cyberpunk, you know. And they're not it's not like secret ponies because secret ponies are obvious. They're the ones who this is how obvious they are. I own every console, but I don't really play my Xbox. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the tell. You know, the I don't always play my Xbox. You know,
The
because
so-called
they
quote
have to.
unquote.
Yeah,
I don't play my
that's the
Xbox. I have
sentence.
an Xbox
They
collecting
yeah
dust. Yeah,
they never just leave it at oh I own all three consoles. They always got to follow it up with well I mean I don't really turn on my Xbox. That's the
yeah.
secret.
Or,
That's how
or they'll
obvious
say
they
something
are.
like my Xbox collecting dust. Yeah, the
Yeah.
console that gives you Game Pass, that is a much more financial proposition and that makes more sense. You let it collect dust, but it makes more sense to buy every Nintendo game that is like fucking 25 years old and dated for 70 and $60. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Huh?
Yeah,
We got it.
now 70 and $80.
And that's not including the DLC.
Yeah, yeah.
And
See,
so, go
that's
ahead, go
something that
ahead.
I said. Sorry to cut you off, but that's something
No,
I
no,
said
I cut
too.
you off, brother. I'm
If they
sorry.
were the special, you know, like the season pass edition or gold edition or ultimate edition,
Yes,
then I wouldn't be here because I occasionally buy my games. You know, I bought the early access edition of Avowed, for example. You know,
yes.
or the earlier. Well, I bought the collector's editions of Starfield, for example. So I don't mind paying a premium when it comes with the extra stuff. You know, because Starfield, for example, also came with the Shattered Space expansion with it. So I don't that you know that's cool because you know you're buying something and
You're getting
and you're
value. You're
getting
getting
a
value.
buttload of extra content.
You're
Awesome.
paying more money, but you're getting
But
value.
this is
Absolutely.
but this is the standard. This is the equivalent of if I bought South of Midnight, just the regular $40 version for $80. What
Right.
Nintendo's doing, you know,
Right.
and hell, I'll go ahead and say this. I think South of Midnight art style blows away Donkey Kong, and I thought Donkey Kong
Absolutely.
looked awesome. Don't get me wrong, the
Absolutely.
gameplay in Donkey Kong look awesome. You know, I'm not so much a fanboy that I shit on games that I think look good from Nintendo or Sony. Y'all know that I've played Gravity Rush for years now. But Donkey Kong look awesome, but the art style on South of Midnight it blows that away, or blows.
Absolutely.
I don't think much of Mario Kart, but that's for the Nintendo fans. That ain't for me. I never liked
Man,
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Yeah, Mario Kart for me. Like when I was watching that showcase, if I had to pick any game, it was that one.
Yeah,
'Cause it just reminded me of Forza.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I,
exactly what it's doing. It's
yeah.
exactly what it's doing. It's Mario with the Forza Horizon element, but
Yeah.
formula. But here's the thing, my brother, Sega Forever, and I really doubt you're not going to disagree with me. You look at Mario Kart and you look at the new Sonic Crossworlds.
Mhm.
Sonic Crossworlds shits on it visually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I gotta check my bias if we're
You
gonna go down
you
that
you
road.
can see
Sorry, crap, sorry.
you
I
can
think I go get me
see
the Sega over
because
there.
Sonic Crossworlds is running on Unreal Engine 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's a new game running on a new engine. Fucking Mario World is running on like Integra 5X Twin 20G 56 cheesecake version. It's a customized version of something that's 20 years old.
oh,
And
definitely. Yeah,
engine. You
yeah.
see what I'm saying?
And it shows when you get up close to the metal, you can tell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I just for what it was, and again, man, I just let you guys know if you guys don't think. Look, I know Unlimited. You talked about this, man, and it was apropos to what I'll say now. When it comes to a lot of this online service stuff, dude, Xbox was right.
Yeah.
Microsoft was right, and
They
you
were
guys
right.
lambasted them. You lambasted them, right? For years, you guys been talking trash to Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
and look at this is why you guys find yourself where you're at now. This is why your games is $80, going to be $90.
Yep.
If it's up to Japan, tariffs out the window, all that crap. Don't listen to that mess. Just think of this: it's a Japanese company, and if they can get away with it, they're going to charge you $110 for those games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The 90, 80, 90 you're getting right now is the financial
And that
budget.
and that is and that is exactly the
Yeah.
reason
And
why we have to pressure. That's why
yeah,
they have to
and
get
so
pressured on the service. That's why.
and
Because they
you
do
know
fucked up
and this
shit
is
like that.
why. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go
No,
ahead.
no, I was trying to say that's exactly the reason why putting up tariffs on them and pressuring them makes sense because they do fucked up shit like that.
Yeah, but
They
I
do
mean, this
that.
even the. I'm just gonna let you guys know, dude. That has not. That's just an excuse. If you hear people talking that, just keep your focus on this. Sony and Nintendo are from
Mhm.
are Japan companies, right? And they're gonna try and get as much
Well,
money out of you as possible. They do it
and
with the nostalgia bait all the time. And for you
yeah,
ponies, I don't know. It's easy to get you guys hooked. I don't know what you
Well,
guys do.
it's like the ponies buying Xbox games when they say, "Oh, Xbox games suck," yet
yeah,
it's the number one selling games on the PlayStation.
yeah. So I
Forza's
follow
number one.
Xbox dude.
Oh, go ahead, and
Yeah,
Oh,
Ford is number one. Indiana Jones is number one. And then
mhm.
yesterday, didn't some clown kiss the PS4 Pro because they did a commercial talking about accelerated ray tracing and like trying to say like it's gonna be better than the Xbox version now. And these motherfuckers were kissing the PS5 Pro on Twitter,
yeah, it
showing
sounds
like doing some retarded shit.
Mhm.
Oh, it's better than the X. Like what the fuck?
yeah, it
Even
sounds like
D-Batch did a stupid ass fucking video.
man, that dude's a
Yeah,
clown, dude. I can't
yeah,
stand
yeah,
him.
yeah. He don't know if he wants
You
to
know
be a
what I'm trying to say?
PlayStation
I'm
fan, a
like, yo,
PC guy. He don't know what he want to be.
I know he
he
wrong.
just wants he just
I
wants to
for
be a
him, like,
fan of whatever's popular.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
that
Whatever's
exactly.
popular that week or that day, that's what he wants to be a fan of, so that he can keep people coming to it. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro,
Um.
what the fuck? Like, are you
Yeah. So
serious?
yeah. So something I want to point out. And this is why I do the unlimited truth, and this is why I put stuff on screen. Is that and I was talking about this yesterday on my own little thing I did. Sony, they were debating raising prices years ago, and that's why I put
Yeah,
reports like that up screen.
yeah,
Because I don't want. See, I get it, I get it. You know, so much happens day to day that people could get wrapped up in the now, and they forget what happens yesterday sometimes. And that's why I'll be quick to show like no, a lot of this stuff was has unfortunately was has been boiling for a minute now. It's just and by the way, Sony started all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They're
Sony's always done this.
they were the first to charge $70 for games. They raised their prices of the consoles and all accessories across the world except for the U.S. market. Um, they charge for upgrades. They charge for
Unlimited, my
upgrades on
brother.
game you already own. Like Nintendo, listen, Sony. Listen, if this was a baton race, Sony started it. They just handed the baton to the Nintendo to finish this nonsense, and then the final run is going to be Rockstar with GTA 6 at $100 to bring it all together. That's really the story of this over um, price hike bullshit we're seeing.
Listen,
Meanwhile, let me just sorry to cut you off, but let me just
no, go
end it with
ahead.
this. Meanwhile, I'm starting to see videos and articles. When is Xbox going to raise the price of Game Pass? Is a Game Pass price increase coming?
Oh, good. Yeah, that's true. That's
I mean,
true.
they just got their finger on the button, ready to blame Xbox.
Yeah, that article just cooking in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh my gosh,
passing
that's
the
so
mic
true.
over to you,
That's
Heba.
what you're saying. They're like, oh, you know, Game Pass is getting more value games in there. You know it's gonna go up. You know, Xbox, bro. These are the same people that cried when Microsoft said we're gonna put the price up to 120 a year for Xbox Live so that we can maintain the great services that we do because they got dedicated servers. Remember,
Hmm.
all Xbox games run on dedicated servers, and anybody that has third-party games on Xbox can use the same dedicated servers for their online features and don't have to do peer-to-peer. Everybody else, Sony, Nintendo, still use peer-to-peer. Even on PC, they use peer-to-peer unless you pay for the dedicated servers separately for each individual. Okay? On the Xbox console, you get that dedicated server free. It's free. And remember the hoopla that they did and how much everybody was crying in the backlash. How dare they? But yet you okay with buying Mario Brother Kart World, right? For $98 because that's what it's going to cost after fucking taxes.
So,
Plus
so,
the
so, so
DLC that comes
shout
after.
out to Nintendo for that though. Shout out for Nintendo to have the wherewithal to not name it another numbered Mario Kart, right? And naming it World because I think that's what it's going to be. But it's going to be Mario Kart World, and it's going to have all the trappings of a service type game.
Yeah, like the way they did with Forza. Yeah, like the same thing. Like like that is structure. That
Yes.
pay as a service structure. I know exactly what you're saying. But
Yep.
then I mean, look at the Switch. The Switch has everything that Xbox One was doing, from
Mhm.
game sharing, from the chat with the little window icons, from the fucking goddamn camera.
Yeah,
Now,
camera, bro.
now,
I
now,
did pause. I did pause it. Like I did pause the showcase when I saw that camera. I was like, man, and my mom
bro,
was looking at me. I'm like, you don't know.
the,
You don't know, girl.
the fucking CEO Bowser himself came out and said, "Thank God for those who can't afford a Switch, you could buy the regular Switch. That's why we'll
Hmm.
continue to make it." The
Yep.
same comment that they took out of context from Don Matrix, because Don Matrix didn't say that. when he talked to Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley was the one who took it out of context. Because you could look at that goddamn interview and you see exactly what he said. Don Matrix simply said, we understand that you cannot access internet everywhere.
Yeah.
But we are
There's the
right.
military.
He said, but we're great. And so we are great. He said, not only are we grateful, but we are fortunate that we can still offer our consumers a console that doesn't really need it in the Xbox 360. That's what he said. He didn't say nothing being malicious or being like, fuck you, suck a dick, eat a cock. No. He just simply said that fortunately that they still had the 360, that if anybody still wanted to play a game without needing to worry about the internet, you still have that option. That's what he meant. That's what he said. And then
Well,
Jeff Kinney.
you know what? He had that one moment that like politicians and CEOs have when they're getting bludgeoned, right? He had that
But
moment
what I'm
of
saying
clarity
is,
when he just spit it out and he shouldn't have.
but
Right?
don't get it twisted, because when you look at the interview, you see it was Jeff Keighley that took that shit out of context.
I
He
know, but
never
nobody's gonna. I mean, already
he
like
never said it. He never said it like in the way of like telling people, "Oh, fuck you, go eat a dick." That's not what he did. Okay? It's just like the guy from Nintendo when he said, we understand people can't afford, may not be able to afford the Switch because it's expensive, right? So we're going to keep giving you the option of being able to buy a regular Switch if you just want to play our games. Which is also not really a malicious way. But my point is it's the same type of context, and they took it out of like Microsoft was telling everybody, go fuck yourself. But with Nintendo's bow, they're like, oh my God, this CEO is so kind. You see how thoughtful he is? How he already said they'll continue to make Switch because they know people can't afford it because we're in hard times. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I mean, for me personally, I love it. I
That-
love it,
I-
right? Because
I'm
this
you
is
know?
why they're gonna get $80 and $90 games. This is why that they're getting another remake of a game that's been out there for what 6 7 years. I don't even know how long that game's been around. So I love that's why I mean I enjoy it
And this
right,
is
sitting
why
back
they're getting
and watching this, and I'm watching it happen in real time. I got my popcorn pop. I'm eating my popcorn, watching these people implode. Right?
and this is why they're getting upgrades for games like Legend of Zelda and maybe like other games on the Switch for $20. You pay $20 for the upgrade. Meanwhile, we got it free on Xbox. We
No, and
never
that's
were
so
charged a
cool.
dime.
Yeah.
But
And
so
and
that's
what
the
annoys me,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, and what annoys me is that nobody with any big platform mentions how Xbox gives you free upgrades. You know.
Well, I was
Yeah,
just going to
yeah.
mention on them. The great thing about what happened with Microsoft and I'm not saying I like it, but at least there's the silver lining in that gray
Mhm.
cloud when it comes to all the Microsoft hate is they can't do some of the stuff that they probably would have thought of doing because they're always ahead of the curve, right?
Mhm.
So they always get checked, right? This is why they come up with the other stuff, even the stuff I don't like our games going over to other
Yeah.
consoles. But obviously, when you see everything that's going on, you have to acknowledge the simple fact that this
What did you
gaming
say?
they have to do some type of shift in gaming. I'm talking
Mhm.
about PlayStation and Nintendo because Microsoft has already shifted. Right. This is why they dropped like what seven ID at Xbox games.
Yep.
Right. Like there's just a constant mill of them just putting out content for every single person out there who purports to be a gamer. Right.
Mhm.
Right. And I can appreciate that. I can sit back and appreciate it and look at Phil, even
Sega
though
forever, Sega forever, stop damage controlling. You know that the government is going to look at us because Nintendo is in cahoots with the government. That's why they got that camera now. They're spying on us. Okay?
well, I don't know if they can spy on us because did you see that feed? I'm like,
That
dude, that
feed
thing
was
was so laggy, man. I
okay.
was like, oh, I can't
So
believe you
they're
put
going
Yeah,
to
that.
spy.
I was stunned. They put that on. They
So
put
they're
that on
going to spy
screen.
on us. They're going to spy on us at 10 frames per second. So what? They're still going to spy on us.
Yeah, you guys know I'm not the biggest
I
government guy in the
was.
world, but I give the government more credit than that. I'd be
Yeah,
like, look,
I was stunned. I was stunned. Nintendo put that on screen at that quality.
yeah,
Dude,
I'm like, yo,
they made a actual button on the controller that is under a paywall. Their chat
yes,
is under
yes,
a paywall.
yes.
What in the fucking fuck? It is under a
no,
fucking paywall. They
no.
give you a tutorial guide of what the Switch can do, and they're charging you $10 instead of giving to you as a free pack-in interactive game.
No, that's why I was saying earlier, guys. You're gonna have to keep your head on a swivel. If you're a Nintendo dude, right? Don't get distracted by the news and the
You're
stuff that
gonna
they
need a
tell you,
second
dude.
job.
It's all about Nintendo and how they're gonna squeeze money out of you, right? Especially for you parents, right? Now, the great thing about Nintendo for most parents is like they'll buy your console, they get ripped off on the console, ripped off on the game, but you only get, it's like old school days, man, when you only got one game. You know,
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
parents,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like your next game ain't coming to Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So, and so at the end of the day, guys, I mean, just keep your head on a swivel. It has nothing to do with all this stuff, dude. But Nintendo, look, Japan is great at this. They'll leverage respect to Japan. They'll leverage whatever they need to do to get that money out of your pocket, right? So if you want to believe it's tariffs,
Yeah, 'cause Japan cares
they'll be
about you.
like,
They
hey,
respect
what
you.
can we do, right? They're not gonna not tell you, right? They'll let you. They'll let you live your. That's why I always tell you, man. You guys got to be consumer conscious, dude. If you guys can't afford the console, if you feel like you're getting ripped off, don't buy it. At the end of the day, that's
Oh,
what it boils.
you really think these motherfucking simps ain't gonna fucking buy it? These motherfuckers are simps. They're gonna buy it.
Oh, the
That
Sims will
hardware,
buy it, but the Sims is
the
a
console's
small.
gonna buy. They're gonna buy the console. I don't know how well the games will sell,
Yeah, it's
but
my prediction. It's not going to sell like the Switch One. It's
I
not going
don't
to
think so
sell a
either.
hundred.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
don't
not
think
going
so
to
either.
sell the
But
120. It's not going to be like 120 million, however much it sold like the Switch One. But it'll do 80 something million, 90 million a month.
but you guys know. But remember, keep in mind, you guys know. You guys know. Okay, you guys know that Nintendo never puts down their prices. That's another thing. Not even in Black Friday, they sell their consoles cheaper. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
they never do. They'll put like $20 off a third party game and talk about, yeah, we got a sale going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what they do. So you know those games. Look, Donkey Kong was cool, but it's not $70 cool.
yeah,
Especially when you compare it, like you said. Look at South from Midnight, brand new IP. On the stop motion technology alone, they spent probably way more money than making the entire Donkey Kong game because stop motion is expensive, right? The animation is tedious and the process takes long, right? Unless they use AI, maybe that's a way that they, worked around those corners. You know what I'm saying? But also, it has great gameplay and the music is created by real musicians. And it's fantastic, right? With great cinematic moments as well, right? And it's fully utilizing the Unreal Engine 4. You can tell by what's going on in the game when you're playing. And they're selling it to us for how much? For $40, right? $30, $40. $10 if you could even play it early for the $10 when you did the early bird whatever access. And you're gonna sit there and tell me that it's okay to pay 70 for Donkey Kong? Bro. No. That's no. Paywall
but
for
it's Donkey Kong.
who
It's
gives
a
a fuck?
legendary IP.
No, dude,
Who
there's
gives yeah, but,
to your point, Unlimited, there's a ton of people
do you
that have
see
been waiting for a
you,
Donkey Kong game. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying that's the way to
you
go.
see what you do in the game? All you do is you're breaking shit to find crystal bananas. That's it. You're not. It looks like it's open world each map. You're not fighting bosses.
Nah,
You're not doing different things. You're not doing different gameplay mechanics. Shit, South of Midnight's gameplay mechanics have way more, diversity than that game.
yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? Because that's another thing. I hate how people are downplaying the gameplay mechanics of the fighting for South of Midnight. But
Hmm.
she only has two swords. Yeah, motherfucker. But do you see all the move sets that you got? She
Yeah,
literally has more
you gotta.
Oh, your body. He bought your body. He bought your body.
has move sets and
Oh, brother, your body bad. Yeah, we can't hear you, or we can't
Yeah,
understand you.
what? You still can't hear
yeah.
me?
It sounded like an '80s techno music
Yeah,
video over here.
like an episode of Buck Rogers, brother.
Yeah,
I'm just
man.
being honest with you. Beat it, beat it,
So,
beat it. You know what
sound like
Let me
what's
get
her name?
this one.
GLaDOS from Portal.
I'm saying? Yeah.
Y'all still can't hear me?
Now, yes, you're good
Yeah, we
now.
can hear
You're
you
good
now.
now. Okay.
What I was trying to say is you that South of Midnight, hey, how people are trying to downplay it, right?
Mhm.
That the combat is not robust enough when she has a more move set than Kratos in God of War. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
I think when it comes to stuff like that, I think, and this probably going to sound arrogant to say, but I think they're playing the game wrong. I don't think that they utilize, for example, how you could send your little puppet guy. I'm forgetting his name off the
Yeah,
top of my head.
when you get Rubik's Cube, whatever his name is, Rubik's Cube, Rock Cotton, what's his name? Roblox, what's his fucking name?
No, no, it starts with a C. I'm just forgetting off the top of my head. Um,
Cotton, I think it's Cotton, right?
Curtain or something like that.
Cotton,
No,
isn't
it's
it
not
Cotton?
cotton. It's not cotton. It's curtain or it's something with a C.
Okay, you can use him
It's
to
crouton.
explore an area.
It's
You can use
crouton.
him to explore. You can use him to explore areas to get things you need to get to. You can toss him over to break stuff that you can't reach. You can throw him to an enemy so that he can turn an enemy against an enemy. Just with that one feature alone, with just him alone.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're combining that. You'll use the
You can't
web
even do
ability.
that with fucking boy. You can't even do that with the boy in Kratos with his son in the fucking game. You literally tell boy to do something. All he does is shoot the spears and he don't do nothing else. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Like it's there, but it don't even play out or feel or do things like it's actually doing something.
yeah.
Then you got
That's
you,
yeah.
you got.
Whenever. Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead. Go ahead.
Bebop.
No,
So,
go ahead. Go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry. I thought you cut off there.
Go ahead, Unlimited.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, when it comes to criticism for gameplay in a lot of these games, I don't take it seriously because I have a feeling that a lot of them are just button mashing their way to finish as fast as possible. It reminds me of games like Gotham Knights, right, where they didn't understand that it was about the timing. You don't just bash the X and Y buttons to do combos.
Yeah.
It's how you press it, when you press it, and it's so subtle that people did. It didn't take until people put out good gameplay of Gotham Knights and they realized that you could do the combos you can in the game because they didn't pay attention that it's all about the timing. If you want Nightwing or Robin or Batgirl or Red Hood to do the more impressive stuff, it was subtle in how you did it. But since everybody likes button mashing to finish the game as fast as possible and go next, like kids in first grade,
Because
they don't really they don't
got
really
used
get
to
the full
Batman. They got
experience.
used to Batman. That's why.
Yeah,
They got
they
used to
don't really
Batman.
get
You
the
press one button the whole time.
yeah
It's
yeah
just gaming in general right
yeah
now.
yeah they don't really get the full experience like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Because they don't spend the
Dude,
time.
in South of Midnight, she does the power surge where you press the X button and you leave it down, and then she does this power surge that freezes everything with blast. She does this the strand surge with the Y button where you hold it down and bam, she does a blast thing where it kills everything. She does the RT blast where she freezes everybody. You can shoot a fucking a magic bubble to freeze them, and then throw out the string, push them towards you, and then you can fuck them up in the middle of the air. Okay? She does the combo with the fucking goddamn actual swords themselves. You can jump up and do a fucking ground pound and fuck everybody up with a ground pound. She does so much shit. There's so much diversity in her fucking in her gameplay and so many fucking options in the gameplay mechanics when you're fighting that is fucking unreal. I'm like, wow, this game really has. Then you can
Yeah.
charge up also the X button. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. See,
Plus the double
and
dash.
again,
You could do the double dash.
they
Then you could
either
do the double dash with a quick hit with the X button. You do double dash twice and you press X
Mhm.
and he does a quick hit and knocks them down. She has so many moves. It's unreal.
Yeah,
It's unreal.
and they're either button mashing their way Hebot or they played the first level and decided and made their decision that way. That's the only conclusion I could come to when I hear stuff like that.
You fucking know that the hack and slash and beat 'em ups are my favorite fucking genre, right? So you know, if anybody knows a good, robust type of gameplay when it comes to hack and slash or beat 'em ups, the best. If you want to ask anybody and feel confident that you can trust their opinion, it would be me. Okay, and I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. Okay, I play fucking Self of Midnight, and I have more gameplay control over the combat than you fucking do with stupid ass God of War. God of War is boring as fuck. You can't even
Yeah,
fucking jump. You can't even fucking jump. This bitch can fucking and I excuse my language. I'm trying to be derogatory, calling her a bitch, but you know what I'm trying to say. That's the street lingo. You you can string up with the string with the LT button in the middle of the air, shoot out a blast so that you can make something that's hollow into something that's um actual full matter, so that you can be able to step on it, and then you can glide down and then dash your way, go underneath shit. Bird, like you could do so many different combos just traversing through the world, like platforming, because it has a lot of verticality too in the platform. If, you know what I'm saying? And in the combat combined, mixed together. And you're gonna sit there with a straight face and say, "Oh no, the combat is really not that robust." Like, bro, you don't know how to fucking play games. These are the same people that think that fucking God of War is better than Ninja Gaiden, or that fucking stupid ass Souls games are better than Ninja Gaiden as far as hack and slash and as far as combat. That's how you know. These are the same fucking clowns. Like, bro, stop talking, because you have no clue what you're saying. Like, that shit just gets me irate.
Yeah, absolutely spot on.
Am I lying?
I mute my
Am I
mic there
lying?
just because I have a
Unlimited.
lot of background. I have a lot of
Unlimited. Am I lying about the combat?
No, man, you spot on. You spot on.
Bro, I was impressed, because the first day I was like, oh man, the combat's not gonna be that diverse. I'm like, fuck. When I started playing, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? And I don't even have my
see,
skill tree.
that right there is why I don't watch reviews. I don't listen. I don't listen to opinions of people who I know aren't gamers, and I don't. You know what I'm saying? I when I say, guys, I don't follow any. I don't know the Metacritic score, none of that shit. I literally turn on a game, play it, and make my decision because of stuff like that. Because when I hear that nonsense, then I play to have a different experience. That's been my game experience the last decade, basically, since the Xbox One days.
Unlimited. I've even seen some people that that we know are actual Xbox guys, and like Hellblade 2 is simplified combat,
Yeah.
but it's simplified combat because it's trying to mimic the real world and how it was at that point. That's why she barely uses anything. She uses a sword and a shield, and there's not much complexity to it, because it's trying to be grounded and more realistic, right? So it makes sense. But that is definitely simplistic combat. Yes. Now, if you play Devil May Cry, the one they made, the same Ninja Theory made, their version of Devil May Cry, that combat is incredible, right? When you play Stuff for Midnight, as soon as you start doing the platforming, doing the traversal, the untethering, the unraveling, even when you do the simple things like trying to collect the memories for the bottle so that you can free the tree, all the stuff that they're doing that is real unique, and that it has different gameplay elements from other games from back in the day. You can tell that the game was done by people that are actually gamers, that have been playing games, that are giving you those little elements and little minute details of things you can do when you're playing it. You feel it automatically, or immediately. You feel it immediately, right? And you're like, wait, what the fuck? So how you going to sit there and say with a straight face it don't have a robust combat if it has a fucking skill tree? I haven't even finished filling up my skill tree yet, and I already have all these fucking things that I could do while I'm fighting. You can combine so many different things while you're fighting, so that and once you get the hang of it, like for example, when they throw when those blobs throw those little eyeballs at you that look like bombs that blow up, if you press the RT, bricks them right back, and they take a lot of energy and kills them real quick. That's a moveset that while you're fighting, you learn to do that. And then you start doing that, and it's effective, and you can feel the rhythm and the smoothness as you're playing. Just like Hi-Fi Rush, when you start getting the hang of the fucking combat with the music, it's like, oh shit, this. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there with a straight face and tell me that it's not robust. You see what I'm saying? But yet you want to say Donkey Kong Country Bonanza is going to be incredible when all this motherfucker's doing is breaking shit, digging through shit to eat crystal bananas. And you barely see him fight any enemies. He'll fight like these little small enemies, grab them, toss them, and punch them, and that's it. You don't see boss battles. You don't see him traverse. doing vertical, kind of platforming when it's a platformer. Donkey Kong has always been a platformer. You know what I mean? And the Donkey Kong Country games and series have been one of the best that they've ever made.
Yep.
This Donkey Kong just feels like an open world game where you can just bash and break things for fun. That's it. But you're not doing
now,
much.
wow, I might need to rewatch it because I didn't notice it was open world. That part I didn't catch. I thought it was just you know your typical
Well,
Nintendo style game, but he's just smashing rocks basically,
well,
A
if
lot
you
of
look,
and it had
like,
DreamWorks animation.
it's
they're gonna be
a
open
big.
world because they want to get money.
Uh-huh.
I think there are a lot of
Okay.
them are going to be open world. That's what I was talking to my daughter about when we were watching it, right? Because they want to go the route again. That's why Microsoft was right, Xbox was right.
Right.
Sony's failing on it. I don't know how Nintendo's going to do, but I mean, if you're gonna start charging people the way like Nintendo will probably do it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to work out personally. For some of the stuff that you don't see in the game, because I experienced that firsthand with Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
The last Animal Crossing, dude, you'd have to get DLC, and I was like, "What is this, man?" Because like, when you play their other games,
Mhm.
it's all to the game. It's not like they're taking the game and expanding on it,
Right.
right? It's just like what they're
Right.
doing, like Hebot was saying with that button, is they're taking the game, pulling stuff back, and then putting it behind a paywall or a DLC component because you're gonna have to have the online. You're gonna have to pay for online, or
And the structure elements that they're adding is stuff that we've seen
Yeah.
before
yeah,
many moons ago in other games.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They didn't add nothing new, and people are like, "Oh my god, you see how intuitive and how unique these mechanics are and these new ideas. Oh my god,
Yeah,
this thing that we've seen
maybe
before."
if you stop playing games in 1996,
Or
it's
maybe
an
if you just stop playing Nintendo and Nintendo games only, you would realize other games been doing this for the longest time.
yeah, yeah. It reminds me of the Super Lucky Tales thing, where
Absolutely.
when it was only on Xbox, the exact same YouTubers like,
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling it.
Hmm.
This game, then as soon as it hit Nintendo, oh, it's not like it was different people. It was the
Yeah,
exact same
Same.
yeah,
YouTubers that
yeah.
was saying it. Oh,
No,
Like
but
this
that's
game
the
is
good
RGT,
so
thing.
like
charming.
RG3, like RGT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
good
This
thing right
game is
now,
so
and then right
charming. This
because
game's amazing.
yeah, but I like that, right? Because now they're suffering because they're also making videos like, I can't believe this thing is $90. I'm like, good for
Yeah.
you. Good for you. You deserve that. Yeah, I'm glad. I hope it goes to $110.
But
What do you
exactly.
mean? Because
But
I'll say
what is the point of saying I can't believe it's $95 if I'm gonna buy it anyway? You see what I'm saying? It's an
Yeah,
oxymoron. It makes
yeah,
no sense.
that's what a lot of them are saying. That's what a lot of them have been saying.
yeah,
It's sometimes I don't like it, but I'm gonna buy it anyway. And they
Yeah.
literally say at the end of their sentences or their big rants, "Well, I'm gonna buy it anyway." Well, that invalidates your whole point.
And that explains why Nintendo don't give a fuck about you as a consumer, and they'll do whatever it takes to make money off of you, giving you the same old shit with just a little tweaking, a little bit better
I,
things and features. That's it.
yeah, I hope Phil Spencer lives his dream of buying Nintendo. Just do it.
I
Screw it. You know what I'm saying?
hope
It
Microsoft
can't
buys
be.
everybody.
Yeah, it can't be any worse than this.
Dude, they're not even. They showed no new IPs. Look. There's a guy who put up a video of
Mhm.
Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 looks good.
Oh, he might hit me up like this game looked like a 360 game, and I was like, oh boy, let me see this shit.
Yo, they compared it to Halo 4 on the 360.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
literally,
yeah,
Halo 4 on the 360 looks better
yeah. It does.
than the fucking game. I'm like, oh my God. Probably the resolution will be better because obviously they upscale with the dock. It's going to
Well,
upscale
I
to
don't
4K.
hold on. Time out on that because the Master Chief Collection runs at like 4K, 120 frames per
Absolutely.
second
No, I'm saying if you compare
on
it to
the
the
Series
360
S.
running on a 360, but
Oh, okay, okay.
we all know that we can run Halo 4 on the Xbox Series S and X, right? Whether it's
Yeah.
digital or physical, and it runs 4K, 60 frames with
100.
HDR,
Actually, that's one of the games that's 120 frames per
and it
second.
can do up to 120 exactly in 4K, exactly, and it looks absolutely stunning. You see the fucking Halo 4 still looks way more advanced than Metroid Prime 4. That
Hmm.
tells you everything you need to know. That lets you know, and I'm not talking about the Switch 1 version, I'm talking about the Switch 2 version, how far back that actual custom graphics chips that they're running on it is behind. That's how you know how old it is.
Yeah.
Okay? And these guys with a straight fucking face really trying to say, oh yeah, it's more powerful than a Series X and a PS5. Look at this. I'm like, are you fucking retarded? Are you retarded? Look, even look, people didn't even catch this. Why the fuck are they selling the dock for $120 separate?
Well, doesn't the other don't they sell the dock for the other Switch as well?
Yes,
Sega
but
Forever?
why is that unlimited? I'm saying it for a reason. Why is that? Why is
Well,
that? Because
well,
it's not part of the motherfucking guarantee warranty. It's not part of the warranty.
oh, okay.
So if something happens to it, you gotta buy it. They don't give you a replacement. When the
Yeah.
dock should be a fucking replacement for free.
See, I don't play on my Switch, so I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Plus,
that's why.
I got my Switch I got the Switch OLED for like $90 because I got a good deal I couldn't pass up on.
But
And
that's why.
that's the only reason
And
I own that
nobody
stupid ass
and
console.
none of these fucking dudes are pointing it out. The first thing I said was like charging $100.
Yeah,
I was like, that means they're not even gonna give you warranty on the dock. Because the dock is the one that actually upgrades. Annie, come here. The dock is actually what upgrades the fucking goddamn games to 4K at
right.
120. That's why the dock actually has hardware in it with a built-in fan. So you gotta buy it separately. The dock alone is $120.
Let me ask you something, Hebot, because I thought I thought the dock don't do 120. I thought it only does the 4K HDR stuff. I thought the screen on the Switch 2 was the
No,
120, just the screen.
no. If you go
I
look at
didn't know.
the specifics, if you go look at the specifics, right? At the Nintendo store, I'll send it to you because I have it. It's
Okay.
It says in TV mode you can do 120. It supports HDR or 1080p at 120.
No,
Then it says with an asterisk and an X or star, it says in tabletop mode and in handheld mode, the maximum support is 1080p with no HDR and no 120, no nothing, just 1080p. That's it.
Okay.
And
I read it backwards.
yeah, these motherfuckers are running with it. No, because it's Nintendo's fault. Nintendo did it in the video, making it seem like the screen supports HDR and it does 120 on the actual LCD. LCD screens can't support 120. They're old. They're old ass screens. That's what I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, it's more vibrant than the OLED. No, it's not. You're fucking crazy. That is fucking organic liquid emitting diodes.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that shit is better than OLED. You're fucking lying.
Wait, what's
No.
Sega Man say? Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Look at
Look,
LCD stands for
all they're
liquid.
going to do.
Classes in fucking session. LCD means liquid crystal definition, right?
Mhm.
Then there's LED, which is liquid enhanced definition. Then there's QLED, which is quantum liquid emitting diodes. And OLED is organic, right? Liquid emitting diodes. Organic is the highest because it has over 8 million fucking light bulbs per pixel on screen on the panel.
All I hear
Okay?
is ching, 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 ching.
So don't fucking tell me, don't fucking sit there with a straight fucking face and tell me, oh, the new screen looks better than the OLED. No, the fuck it doesn't, you lying sack of shit. No, it doesn't. OLED is the best goddamn technology out right now. And the reason why most people don't make it is because it's expensive.
Mhm.
That's why they're doing other alternatives like QLED, like liquid.
Many LEDs and all that stuff. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I think they even got micro LEDs in the work now.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
What was that, guys? I'm sorry.
Oh no. I was saying to piggyback off what you said. That's why they got many LEDs and Sega Forever confirmed that they even got micro LEDs in the works now.
Yep.
Dude. And the only reason it looks nice on an LCD is because the screen is 7.5 inches. It's compressed. It's not stretching the pixels. Put that shit on an LCD screen TV and you're going to see how good fucking retarded it's going to look. If you put it on a 4K TV, it's going to stretch those pixels out. It's going to look like ass.
Yeah.
because that's why you're stretching out the pixels. Now, if they're 4K, it's not going to stretch. That's why they did the dock to support 4K so that it will look correct. And I don't even know if it's going to be real 4K native. I think it's more of like a
Upscale
software
stuff.
solution, like a software
Yeah,
solution.
yeah. Oh, I agree 1,000,000% on that. I think that's going to be the case as well.
You know what I'm saying? But when I see these motherfuckers saying, "Oh yeah, it look better than the old," I'm like, "Oh my god!" See, I got to shoot you in the face. Like I can't. That just drives me insane. I cannot stand when people lie and they think that people are dumb and they argue with people that actually know their shit and they try to act like they know more than you. And I'm like, bro, you don't know what you're talking.
No, but
You don't know.
people are dumb. But people are dumb. So.
It's just like when motherfucking Sony niggas were like, "Yo." Remember when they were like, I don't know if you remember, Limited. Remember when they were like, "Yo, what's the big deal about 4K? 1080p is amazing.
Yeah,
That shit's
yeah, yeah,
overrated."
yeah.
Remember when they were saying that shit with the
Yep,
PS4?
I remember that. Yep.
That shit, that's overrated. And what did I used to say to them? I was like, that's because you haven't played it in 4K. You haven't seen it. Once you see it, you're gonna know the difference, and you're gonna be like, "Holy shit, it's completely different," and you never go back. Just like when you bought your OLED and you hit me up and you're like, "Yo, Heba, why the fuck you didn't tell me how amazing this shit look?" Remember that shit? You yelled at me like I was gatekeeping this shit. You yelled at me like, "Yo, what the fuck? This shit looks incredible." I was like, "I told you, OLED is a life
Yeah,
changer."
man. Yeah, it really is. It really
I'm like,
is.
"Yo, you won't go back. You will not go back." And once you see 4K at the native resolution properly, you will never go back to 720. You will never go back to 1080p. Everything looks blurry once you get used to 4K. It's like, what the fuck? I'll be watching Netflix and watching movies, and I'm like, holy shit, it looks so bad. Because we watch everything on 4K, right? So when we buy our 4K movies, it's bit for bit. There's no loss in resolution whatsoever or visual quality. And when you see the fucking disc and then you watched it on Netflix or watch it on the YouTube, holy crap, does those videos look like shit. They look like ass. Because your eye automatically adapts to the higher resolution. And it tells you and it shows you like, oh my God, this is lower. But when you don't see it, you get it and you're used to it. You're like, oh yeah, it looks incredible. But what PlayStation dudes used to say, I was like, yeah, you motherfuckers are just cop it because y'all don't got 4K. The Xbox Series, the Xbox One X or Xbox One had 4K. We were getting 4K games in Forza, in fucking goddamn Halo, in Gears. Yeah, it was dynamic resolution, but we still have 4K games with the Xbox One X. Remember? So, and they were, yeah, that ain't no big deal. We don't need that. We don't need that. And as soon as they got a fucking goddamn 4K machine that actually did proper native 4K in PS5, what happened? Oh my God, these games look way better than anything on Xbox. Isn't that what they said? I was like, you dumb motherfuckers. You guys have no clue. We've been playing games at that quality. Been for years. You have no clue what you're saying. That's the same stupid argument with Nintendo dudes. That they don't have no clue because they don't have it. They haven't experienced it. They haven't seen it. And now that they're getting it, now their fucking truth is coming out. Their hypocrisy and, their fallacy, all that stuff. And they're exposing themselves. Oh my God, this looks incredible. Go ahead. What were you going to say, brother?
Something that confuses me, because I watch a lot of collection videos, and I noticed that a very common combo is to switch in PS5. So I don't understand how they have a PS5. They'll have a 4K TV, and then say that stuff about the Switch. That doesn't make sense.
Because most people, right? Just like you saw that tweet I put out where it's showing that most PC gamers do not buy games, they buy microtransaction, and I put it out there. I said the numbers are not going to lie, and people are getting mad because I've been saying that the PC community, even though it's growing for the reasons that are not because of games, because they're playing more games there, is because of the streaming. Because everybody want to get into the streaming scene through YouTube to make money. That's why the PC gaming scene has grown. Because motherfuckers want to make money. They think they're going to be the next ninja. They're going to become millionaires streaming games, playing games on their PC because you have more options to stream and do more things. and edit it and do things like that with the software. That is why PC gaming has grown. But they're trying to swear up and down that people, we play PC gaming because it's a better option than console. Yes, you have more options, but it's at a higher cost. Console will still be the entry point for everybody and for every casual because it makes sense. It costs way less nuances are not there, and you have options like being able to trade your console and get a good amount of money and buy a new one. You can't do that with a PC unless you buy a program from Circuit City for $180 so that you can trade it in after 4 years and get the new version, and then you got to rebuy the program again. You don't have.
Wait, Heba, did you say Circuit City?
Yeah, like places like Circuit City or
Does that even exist anymore?
here, yeah, my area. I got a Circuit City.
Okay, yeah, because I haven't seen a Circuit City
most
in a
of them closed
decade.
down. Yeah, most of them. I'm just giving you an example, but
No, I was stunned, dude. I haven't seen Circuit City. I don't know the last. It's been a long time. I thought they were closed
right.
down.
Yeah.
I'm more stunned to hear Circuit City still exists in Nintendo Switch price increase.
It's like Electronic Expo, like
I know what it is. It's just that
there's a place that sells a Blockbuster, even though all of the major ones closed already. There's still one Blockbuster that exists, stuff like that. But you know what I'm trying to say anyway. I'm just
get it.
an example that, if you buy a computer, right, and you go, let's say to, I don't know what's a new computer store that's famous and popular now. My son goes to one all the time. What the fuck is it called? Anyway, my point is the ease and the expense of a console is always going to outweigh anything else, whether it's PC or anything other option, even a fucking Rogue Ally, because those are expensive and they're portable, right? Because people want to play games. They don't care really about specs and how they run the games. The Nintendo proved that. The Nintendo Switch proved that. They would buy the Nintendo Switch Lite, which you can't even connect to your TV before the Nintendo, because it's $200. That's why the Wii did well, because it was only $200. That's why the Dreamcast did well, because it was only $200. That's why, the Wii U did fairly well, because it was only like 150. The point is,
the Wii U doing well. I thought it only sold like 13 million units.
no.
I remember it being so bad.
I'm talking about well initially when it first released, it did well.
Okay. Yeah.
But then what killed
Nintendo? People forget right before the Switch came out, Nintendo was saying if the Switch don't pop, no, that's it for us.
Yeah, remember that they were saying they were going to file for bankruptcy, and people are trying to act like they were never in trouble. But that's another thing. When people talk about it, they were never in trouble. They've always been the leaders. They've always been on top. They never had any problems. Like, what the fuck are you smoking? The Wii sold the most out of any console in that generation, but it still failed because the software sales weren't there.
Oh, they were awful.
That's why they made the Wii U right away, because they weren't selling software. Because the games were dated. When you saw Ghostbusters for the Wii compared to Ghostbusters for the 360, it was like night and day. People weren't buying them because they looked dated. The only games that were selling were their exclusives, like Warriors, like the Zelda. You know what I'm saying?
The Wii Fitness that was bundled with it, or Wii Sports, whatever it was called.
Wii Fit and Wii Sports. Yeah. But you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like they try to cap, right? And act like, oh no, that's not how it is. Even though you see clear today, that's exactly how it was, right? That's why the Wii U was made so fast, because of the fact that the Wii even sold 112 or 120 million units. The ratio for software was 1-to-1. They were selling one game literally for one console every time. And that was probably either the Mario or the Zelda. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say? When it came to Xbox 360, even though it's selling at a higher price point, right? The Xbox 360 was selling 8-to-1, meaning 8 games per every one console. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's why the 360 was doing so well, because the game ratio was much, much higher. The PlayStation was the same thing. PS3 was 1-to-1. It was selling one game per every unit they sold. So that's why, like, when they talk about oh, that the game so well, that the console did well, yeah, but it still wasn't successful because they don't make money off the hardware. They make money off the software. And that's why I said that the Wii U was probably their best console because it had the best backwards compatibility, and it was the most consumer friendly when it came to what the console was offering, right? That you could play on the TV, and then you hit the pad, you could play the game off the TV and let your parents use the TV. If you wanted to keep playing on the controller, you could, right, in your own home as long as you're there, right?
Yeah,
So
right,
it
right.
gave you a lot of cool features that made sense and that were consumer friendly for the price you were getting. The backwards compatibility, you just put the CD and it worked.
Hmm.
You were able to transfer your games over, right from one thing to another with no issues. That is the most friendly, consumer friendly console they had, and that's why it was my favorite of all their consoles was the Wii U, even though it was the most hated, right?
Yeah.
Because
It,
it did
it'd be
everything right.
like that, don't it? The one that is quote unquote a failure was actually their best one. Yeah,
Well,
that's
the
how I
one
felt
that
about the
had the
Xbox
best
One.
approach, that had the best ideas, the best approach, and the best offerings as far as features, game library. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And people don't see that, right? People don't look at it that way, right? Like the Switch, they didn't say it. Funny how nobody's really saying it, but it has backwards compatibility with 1,500 games.
Hmm.
But they already said that 85% of the games are not working properly.
Yeah, they did. They
So
did.
what the fuck is the point of having backwards compat if they don't work right? That means they're doing it via emulator.
Yeah.
Why do you think Nintendo is so stubborn and so hard pressed on people using emulators to play their games, and then they go after channels and try to shut them down and try to fucking sue them or whatever when they play their games through an emulator? Because that way they can keep selling you, Mario 1 that came out on
Hmm.
Super Nintendo for fucking $40, 50 years later on a new console. That's why they do it,
Yeah.
you know? That's why they do that shit. It's not by accident. It's all by design. Them motherfuckers are greedy. They always been greedy, and they're gonna stop being greedy. And the proof is there, and they don't want to admit it. But my whole thing is nobody's calling it out. I spoke about it on my video. I said it. I was like, it's good. It's the fucking most overrated console ever in history, in Nintendo history. And this one's gonna be even worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the PlayStation 5 is more overrated. But, I agree with that about Nintendo.
Well, I'm talking about Nintendo history as far as Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not overall. If it's overall shit, every PlayStation console's been overrated. They
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
suck.
I think the PlayStation 5 is it tops of
Top number
everyone
one,
ever.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a I don't know. I have no clue how anyone could pretend to enjoy that garbage.
And
But hey,
the pro too. The pro is like, what the fuck?
yeah. Yeah, that pisser doesn't work. The mini games had to disable it. But hey, I'm about to head out. Sega Forever and Hebot.
All right,
But
man.
Hebot, man, when's a good time to get to hit you up? Because whenever I do podcasts, you always come in at the tail end, and even then, it seems like you have technical issues that end up leaving early. So
Well, remember yesterday when you did it, I didn't even see it because you did it earlier. I was asleep.
oh well no that one was just a solo thing. But I hit you up on Wednesday for the Unlimited Truth, for
Yeah, yeah,
example.
yeah. And I tried to get in, remember? But then what happened was when I got in for the little bit, my phone died. Like I needed to charge
Ah,
it. So
okay.
when I'm trying to do the podcast where the phone charges, it overheats because you got to, how you have how you have the
Hmm.
charger connected for some
Yeah.
reason because I'm doing something I guess that's stressful on the phone. It overheats it, so I gotta wait until it charges then come back. By the time it charged, and I try to come back and I went in, you guys already have finished.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why.
Because yeah, it
Yeah,
seems
but you
like
see how I'm having
it's
all the problems here too.
yeah.
Every time, bro, because I'm never able to stay home like a human being normal and do a podcast sitting down on a chair. I always gotta be out and about. Right now, while I was talking to you guys, I dropped off my daughter at work.
Hmm.
My son went to take my daughter to the thrift store, went to the bank, went to McDonald's for my daughter, and came back home. All while I was talking to you guys.
Yeah. You see, Sega Forever. That's why I said in the chat whenever he about has dropped, I assume he's driving under a bridge. Just because I
Yeah,
knew,
that was funny.
yeah, I knew he was. I knew he was. He was on
It's
the
it's
road.
the moonshine. It's
But
the
yeah, I'm a
moonshine.
yeah the
It's the
moonshine. Yeah,
moonshine. Eminem. You know
yeah,
I'm a
man.
moonshine. I'm distributing moonshine everywhere. You know.
Hey, but I'm about to head out, guys.
All
Yeah, we
right,
gotta wrap
Papito.
it up, dude. We
Nice
gotta.
All right,
talking with you, brother.
I mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we've been
I'll
going
be
for
in
like
it.
about an hour, so
Yeah, but
we'll
you know
Yeah,
what you do,
an hour.
Hi,
Okay.
mamita. You know what you do whenever you do with the podcast.
Hmm.
Call me, call me, because that way I can
Okay.
make sure I have everything and ready. So that way, when you send me the link, I won't have so much issues. Because a lot of time when you send me it to me, since it's out of nowhere, I'm like, oh shit. But you got to remember that you send it to me usually during the week. So
Yeah,
during the
yeah,
week,
yeah.
I'm much busier. The reason why I usually get on the Unlimited or the one with Sega Man is because they do it.
On
It's
the
because they do it
weekends.
on
Yeah, that's
Saturdays
right.
on the weekend. So it's much
Okay.
easier.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Weekends. Yeah, I try not to do them on weekends personally, but I'll keep that in mind for future reference, though. All right, Sega Forever. No more dropping your own daughter off, man. You gotta run the show now.
nah. That's why this is the wrecking crew, so we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I want to start segregating my stuff. Make the
All
time
right,
and stuff like that.
all
All
right,
right, bro.
guys.
But thanks for
I'll
popping
talk
in,
to you
man.
later. Yeah.
All right, take it easy. Yeah, we can wrap it up, dude. We've been going for quite a bit, so. But yeah, man. Thanks for everybody that's in the chat, dude. Let me shout you guys out real quick. David Cohen, man. Thanks for being here, brother. Vontae, appreciate it, bro, as always. Your initial score on South of Midnight was 8. Did another playthrough with hard difficulty, upped it up to 8.7. Yeah, brother. I've been watching my daughter play it, and we're kind of enjoying it from the perspective of We Happy Few. Um, we like that game. Well, my daughter likes that game. I like it because I watched her play it. And a lot of the stuff that the developers, Compulsion, did on We Happy Few, you can kind of see it in the DNA, or from the little I've seen of the game in South of Midnight, which is interesting because it feels like this is a game that they wanted to kind of level up. There's a lot of things about South of Midnight that shows that they've grown as a studio. But interesting enough, man, I think We Happy Few, again, just really quickly, and I'm gonna start playing the game for myself. But from what I see, We Happy Few, of course, probably had more of the stuff that they're known for. South of Midnight is a different twist on it, though. But I love the way the game looks. Love the art choice that they went with as far as the design. Graphics look amazing. Liking the dialogue so far. I've seen people complain about certain things about the game. Of course, you guys know it has the DEI component attached to the game. Um, I'll let you guys know. You guys know how I am about DEI. I'll let you guys know full stop what I think about it. Right? Like I thought I did with Avowed, which ironically I'm playing through Evolved a second time. Because the first time I played through it, the one thing that I absolutely loved about Evolved was the actual combat system in the game. I love the first person perspective. Takes me back to some of the games I played when I was younger, and they definitely nailed it. Now, I'm still holding an 8 out of 10 for that game. That's how much I enjoyed it, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to go any lower, but I don't think it's going any higher as well. I think 8 out of 10 is a perfect score. And again, I don't normally like to give scores. I just want to set a barometer for you guys. Sorry about the truck. As you can tell, you know what time of day it is here when you hear that truck coming up the hill. But I did want to let you guys know that and it's not a negative or positive thing. Dude. It's just my gate guidepost. I'll use it that way. That shouldn't deter you from playing or not playing a game. If you want to play a game, guys, play it. Right? If you guys want to go buy a Switch and go play Mario Kart, go ahead. I'm gonna buy the Switch too because my daughter's gonna play Pokemon, right? And that's already a given. All right, but at the end of the day, like I'm saying, what the title of this hangout was, or this wrecking crew was, to stay in your lane. They just appreciate it for what it is. At the end of the day, man, and just be a gamer. Um, you know, speak truth to power. That's why I do this channel, and that's never gonna change. But in the event of Avowed, man, I think I pretty much understand and got a feel for what the game is. And playing it a second time through is a lot better because I understand like how to use companions better. I know where everything is for the most part. I can, and I'm not saying that I can go get everything. I'm actually creating my characters in a vow to play a certain way and be a certain way. I've created my own backstory in my mind, kind of like the old school Dungeons and Dragons stuff. If you guys remember playing, if you guys are old as me, remember, um, kind of creating your own characters in your world and stuff like that. That's why I kind of like the vow. But again, for me, it's just like I probably would give it a 9 if there's a little bit more evolved when it comes to character selection, when it comes to some of the stuff that I want to do as my character, I can't because I'm limited by the mechanics of the game. And I'm not, and I'm not saying that makes it bad, right? That's the thing that irritates me about people when you review these games. It doesn't mean that the game is bad. It just means that it's just a game choice that they made. All right. So it is what it is, guys. At the end of the day, just play your games because that's what it boils down to at the end of the game. But yeah, so just shout out to this chat, everybody that was on here. Did I miss anybody? I don't want to miss anybody. All right, yeah. So thanks to Hebot and Unlimited Productions for being here. I actually have to go and run to my appointment for my taxes. I got something back from them, so got to go handle that. Got to handle our business here. But thanks for everybody stopping in, man. Xbox All In channel, Jose Good Forever. We are out.